It was a different movie for my mom.
A different movie.
She normally see the one-man army.
Bang them up, shoot them up, all them type of movies.
Yeah.
Did you like the movie, Ma?
Yeah, good.
So it was different than your normal movie.
Yeah.
I like the nostalgia of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Was it back in the time, the year that it was?
It was the 80s, and I was singing all the songs. I remember all of the things that the phone, and we were so happy to have a phone in the car.
This was before cell phones.
Oh, I couldn't. But remember, we went to the payphone. How he went to the payphone, and we had pagers, beepers. If you had a pager, that was it. You was cool because you would never miss a call because people would page you, and then you would just
go to the next phone that you can get to.
You would go to the next phone. So we got that going on. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. What else? You said on The View they talked more about Don Lennon and them.
Yeah, because
Lemon
before the show went off, that was that breaking news with Tucker, and then I guess they figured let's wait tomorrow to talk more about Tucker.
Carlson. You don't have nothing up here, do you?
And Don Lemon.
Okay, all right.
And one of the points that they was making with the Don Lemon, and I'm glad Joy asked that because Sonny, sometimes, and this made me think too, when we know people, that person can be different with us than they are with others.
What's that mean?
So the situation, the comments that they made about Don Lemon, was it he had issues with women?
Oh, okay.
Even the comments he's made where he apologized. So he wasn't squeaky clean, in other words.
Okay.
But Sonny went to the rescue of saying, I worked with him. I know he was a colleague and I know him. He's a friend for over 20 years.
Okay. She ain't never had no problem.
Joy was saying, how do we know how he is with his other colleagues?
Right. And then that's how people did Bill Cosby.
Thank
it was
you,
like,
Joy.
I never had no problem with Bill Cosby.
That's you.
Right.
And you a black woman. How was his white colleagues?
That's
how was
true.
the white men, the white women? We have to
Were they too sensitive too, though? That's the other thing.
Yes.
We don't know.
So something made me think, I have people in my life that are, Kim was even my sister, one thing about her is that she's pretty much the same whoever she's with.
Right.
And that's beautiful if you can do that. A lot of us change with the wind.
Yeah.
Whoever we're with, we gravitate to that audience. And that's not good. You have to use wisdom. But
then different people bring out different stuff.
Thank you.
Like I always tell people, there's one person that I was with, he never hit me or nothing. And then he went with somebody else and they guess they fought. He would hit her and all that.
So their story would
he
be,
never hit me.
Their background would be, oh, you know him? He hit me and whatever. And
Abusive.
then you'll go,
he wasn't abusive to me.
He didn't hit me.
But you can't discredit the other person. That they just how they are.
Exactly.
But Don will go on. He'll go on and do other stuff.
He'll do great things.
But and Tucker, they both gonna go on and make money on the internet.
Alyssa alluded to what you said the other day, streaming.
They'll go
if
streaming.
He goes with a show, streaming, he'll still keep on going.
Both of them. So the movie Air. All right, let's talk about the movie Air real quick, and then we'll get into our other stories.
So remember, we got to differentiate the movie from the content of the movie, the information that the movie was built on. Movie meaning how the actors portrayed their parts.
Okay. All right, so the movie, regardless of whatever, I thought the acting was good.
Matt Damon.
They were wonderful. Well, you know, Matt Damon.
You can't go wrong with
Ben
Matt
Affleck.
Damon, Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
and even Chris Tucker.
And Marlon Wayans. And what's his name? Justin Bates. I mean, come on. It's a winning cast. So.
Yeah, there you go.
But I love the nostalgia of the movie. I love playing 80s music throughout the whole thing.
I was singing along with
I was singing Cyndi Lauper, and I know you were singing the funk stuff.
Time after time.
I know you were singing George Clinton.
I sang every song.
Right. So we did sing all the songs with it.
Born in the USA, I was born. Got another understanding of what that song meant.
Oh, I knew that.
I knew he was just sharing it on TV.
And also, Oh, I love looking at the cars, and the one thing they didn't show is cars broken down on the highway, because that was back in the day. We was always broken down on the highway.
Do that in the movie.
Those cars, they should always had a car on the side.
He was happy he rented a car. They had a phone in it.
I remember the phone days, having to use a pay phone. We had our pagers, the hairstyles, all the women with the big hairstyles.
And forgive us, you can't go wrong with Viola Davis.
No.
Playing them
Oh, how can we? My Viola Davis was excellent. Yeah. Her husband wasn't bad either.
He's an actor too.
I thought he was an actor.
Mm-hmm. They met each other years ago in some play or movie.
I know he's a football player. He was an ex-football player. You sure?
He talked about when they met on a set in some movie they were in. His trailer was smaller than hers.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's good. He was good.
Okay.
But of course, Viola Davis. No, I mean, who beats Viola Davis? Mm-hmm. Very good movie as far as the acting and aesthetics. Okay, costumes and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Portraying that time.
Yes. Now, let's talk about the actual movie. I don't want to hear anybody from this point on, I'm tired of hearing about it, say that Michael Jordan is not the greatest basketball player that ever played. Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. He is the GOAT of basketball.
What's the GOAT?
Stop throwing LeBron and Seth Curry and all of them in there. Greatest of all time.
Oh, that's what GOAT means.
Yes. So Michael Jordan, I'm done with you guys. Mm-hmm. I always say I love LeBron. Mm-hmm. LeBron is like my pick. I like LeBron over Seth. So I'm a LeBron person.
Okay.
But LeBron James is not the greatest basketball player of all time.
Okay.
He's just not. Seth Curry is not the greatest basketball player of all time.
Remember we talked about what's considered the greatest. Okay. It's the most popular. It's the oldest.
To me, it's more influential. It's not just stats. Somebody could beat Michael Jordan's stats.
Yes.
Somebody could even
has done it.
And somebody can play better than Michael Jordan. Somebody can say, well, such and such,
whatever his position,
he's a better guard, or he did more assists, or he did all of that. Mm-hmm. Right. But Michael Jordan revolutionized the game. Not the game, the contracts and what these basketball players are making.
With their worth, their name, them,
period.
Their image.
And if it was not for Michael Jordan, they would not be making the money that they are making now.
Now,
definitely not on deals.
Let's give it to, I get it. Let's give it to that gentleman who had the galls to believe.
Yes.
In Michael, where he went with his gut.
He went with his gut as far as building the shoe around him. Mm-hmm. But the money came from Michael Jordan's mom and Michael Jordan. The thought that she had, they wasn't even gonna. Well, I don't want to give the movie away.
I think you should. We
go ahead. It's been out. Mm-hmm. They wasn't even gonna sign him unless the mom said, or she wasn't gonna sign with them unless Michael Jordan got a percentage of every shoe.
Because remember, at that time, Adidas was hot.
Yes.
Converse was hot.
Yes. And Nike was number 3 and on the way out the door.
And they were after him.
Michael
Jordan
saw
the potential.
Saved Nike.
Yeah, he did.
Nike was a running shoe. Michael Jordan, the basketball division was on its way out. Mm-hmm. No basketball player wanted to sign with them. Mm-hmm. And Michael Jordan decided to sign with them. Not only sign with them, they built a whole shoe around him. Mm-hmm. Whereas before him, the players would come in and wear the shoes that was already made.
And the shoes always fit a certain specifications that
they have 50-some%
they
white.
Went against that.
They went against that because the NBA would fine them and say you could only have so much color on the shoe
and so much white.
So Michael Jordan revolutionized that. He revolutionized the fact that these guys can negotiate in their contracts and get money from deals that people making off of them.
Their name, their likeness needs to be paid.
They have to pay them for that.
They are the ones that people, the reason why people go and buy that product and go watch them.
So not only revolutionized basketball, but other sports. Mm-hmm. And Arthur Ashe, I like how they had Arthur Ashe.
He got the idea. The gentleman
that guy got the idea from Arthur Ashe because Arthur Ashe was talking about this racket
that he played,
and he said this particular racket is why I do what I do. Mm-hmm. So people buying this racket because of Arthur Ashe.
And they have it in their hands, and they can probably play as good as.
And it started making that man think, well, people don't really think they're gonna be Michael Jordan
with the
but just to share the same thing he had, same thing with Arthur Ashe. If I could play with the same racket that Arthur Ashe plays with, I may not be as good as him.
You'll be encouraged at least. Your what is the word?
Yeah.
How you feel about yourself will go up. Your esteem.
Yes. So Michael Jordan, not only that, but I loved how the guy said, well, Michael Jordan could break his ankle and we can all lose money or whatever.
Hurt his knee. Yeah.
And his mom said, no, he's going to do what he's supposed to do, and that's be great. She had no doubt in her mind her son would be great. And they all was like, you think he's going to be better than Magic Johnson and Larry Bird? And they was like, my son's going to be better than everybody. He's going to revolutionize the game of basketball. And with that, he needs to be compensated for that.
One of the things that I did like about him, Chris Tucker, he played one of the gentlemen that worked with the Nike group. In fact, his position is over the Jordan empire. And one of the things he said, being a black man, he said, dude, how to get to the players is their mama. Talk to their mama. Because a lot of black mothers run the house. They run the deal. And he is so right. Because even when you think about the other basketball players and football players, they got their mama. On commercials. Shaq's mama. And Michael Jordan's mama. They're mothers.
And I like how they showed that guy who was unorthodox skateboarding, the old man skateboarding. He the one that designed the shoe.
The creator of the shoe.
And designed Michael Jordan in midair, that whole thing. Yeah,
he passed away before the movie
came out. So I like how he gave people credit for all the people credit. The one that had the Martin Luther King, the Marlon Wayans character.
Yeah. He had a Martin Luther King speech.
Original speech. And he still won't sell it to this day.
Apparently in the movie, and we don't know how true the movie is as far as that is, but they said it is. He was over the Olympics player. That was his role, how he connected with Michael Jordan, being an Olympics coach or whatever. He said he took a chance and was invited to some forum, some speaking thing, and pushed on stage.
They made him be the bodyguard.
Because
he was tall black man. And he ended up being the bodyguard over
the last
Martin Luther
speaker
King.
Was Martin Luther King.
And he is the reason why that the Sonny guy, the Matt Damon character, changed his speech to the pitch. Because he said Martin Luther King was doing his speech and the people in the audience was like looking away. So he changed his whole speech in the middle of what he was saying, and everybody was excited. And he said he asked him at the end, the black guy, "Can I have your speech?"
He said that was a good speech.
And
thinking that the speech was written on this paper,
and he gave him the one that was on the paper, and he said he didn't see nothing. He didn't see the lines
that he said.
He said, and Martin, that's when Martin told him he changed it.
Wow!
Just because I wrote this, don't mean that's what I'm gonna say.
And he changed it according to the audience and how they were receptive. That's that's a person that is wise to understand. You kind of like attentive, and you kind of listening to your audience and hearing how they respond.
So I like how he gave him credit for that. He gave that other guy.
He never did sell it. They wanted to pay him. He
still has that speech. And I like how the Matt Damon character gave credit to. You know what? I like the whole movie because it really was a movie about the deal.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan didn't even really need to be in the movie.
He didn't even. Yeah, he didn't. They
only showed the side of his face.
Whatever young guy was playing him, they showed, and then you heard him on the phone talking.
Yeah.
Or you saw a side of his face looking at the pictures.
But even though they said he wasn't needed, I'm kind of happy that even glimpses of him was there.
Yeah.
Because it made you feel like he was involved.
He was.
In that. It wasn't just his mom.
That was a creative way to show that. Because they could have gone a whole different way with directing.
Him talking and all kind of stuff. Yes. But I like that. I like how when they his parents and him came in there, the black guy who Chris Tucker played, they noticed that. No other company had a black guy in that leadership position.
Thank you.
And then she said, "You like it here?" And he said, "I like it." She asked him, I don't, why would I want my son to sign with a company and the black guy that's in the room, he don't even like it?
Thank you.
So she wanted to know, do you like it here? He said, I like it.
And if it's true, Matt Damon's character, Sonny, when he took a chance, he took a risk. As a trailblazer, sometimes you have to do that to make things happen and move and shake the earth.
Yep.
He was not supposed to go visit the mother.
No.
Michael Jordan's
They
mom.
told him
or
that's
dad.
the end of your career if you do that.
You go around the
You don't
agent.
the agent. You have to go through
the
the
agent was so angry, but he felt this in his soul that this is a good move for them and an opportunity to go ahead and sign Michael Jordan.
But you notice what happened? If he would have been anybody else who showed up at that house, I don't think she would have welcomed him in.
Why you say that?
It was something about him that she liked. Because remember, they talked about him and his mom and stuff before he even pitched.
Right.
She was something about him. And I think she thought, because remember, he knows basketball.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of these guys that was wearing the suits, they don't know basketball. They know money. They know like how much money I can make off of you, and I think she sensed he knows basketball. Like he loves this game. They showed that.
They showed that in the office when they had a meeting.
He loves
and
basketball.
One of the managers was kind of talking to them and kind of like and then of course you think about Converse, Adidas, and Nike, these large companies. They do talk about athletes. Who's out there? Who can we bring in?
Right.
Who would promote our product?
But this guy knows he's a scout.
Yes.
He's able to look and say, you will be probably the number one player of all time. It was so funny because when they was discussing some of the players, we know some of them, and the things that was being said is funny because we know how they ended up. Patrick Ewing,
Charles Barkley.
He's too much troublemaker.
Troublemaker.
They was gonna go with Charles Barkley.
You be careful who you endorsing because you don't want them to be a face of your product.
And how much do you want to bet? Did Charles Barkley know that? Until after this movie.
That's funny.
I wonder if Charles Barkley gonna say something after this movie that he would have been,
because it's true.
The shoe would have been his.
He has a big mouth,
but he talks too much. So they was like, no. And John Stockton, they liked him.
Yeah.
But it was something about, you know what? And I think that Sonny guy, he said, I believe in him because his coach believed in him. Yeah. And he gave that whole big old thing about how they gave Michael Jordan the ball, the game-winning ball. Yes. Okay. And that was the coaches on his way out. You on your way out, you have to win.
Yeah.
And he said, give the ball to Michael Jordan.
Because he said, look how relaxed. He played back
and
that
he was
footage.
Relaxed. It didn't even matter that I was if I get this, then we win the championship. If I don't, everybody's destroyed.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan didn't even act like it mattered. He was like, here, boom. Give me the ball.
Okay.
And people must remember, we're from Chicago. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan here.
Yeah.
I mean, get out of here. If you try to come into Chicago saying that anybody, other basketball player, is the best basketball player, we'll kick you out of here.
Likeness there. Like we said when we traveled one year when Obama was getting ready to run for president.
Yes.
We mentioned Chicago. The three names came up.
Yes.
Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, and Obama.
And during the time when they built the shoe around him, a lot of people wasn't watching basketball. No. So Michael Jordan revolutionized basketball. People started watching basketball. So just stop it, guys.
It amazes
me. He is the greatest player of all time. It's not just stats. It's saving the game of basketball. It's changing the contracts that these guys sign.
I like
everything.
That his mom was very involved with his career choices as far as money-wise.
Yes.
It made sense if you thought about it, because even the Sonny guy, Matt Damon character, when she said, we're going to sign with you guys, but every shoe
that has his name
on it,
he wants a percentage.
He gets a percentage of
and
that.
That's why he's a billionaire. And that's why he's a billionaire.
Why wouldn't you give him some money?
And they were like, that's never been heard of. They said that the board won't go for that.
He didn't, and he probably said because when he came back to the main guy, He said we can't do the deal.
And I like how the owner of Nike was unorthodox. So he was like, "Go ahead."
He said,
The CEO.
I'll worry about the board and talk to them about
Right.
this guy. This basketball player is going to get a percentage of his sales.
Yep.
So
it did. It made you like Nike more too.
Well, I'm wearing it now.
Yeah. It made you like Nike more.
I didn't even realize I had it on at the theater.
And remember when they went after Tiger Woods with that whole thing, Nike didn't drop him.
No.
Nike's unorthodox.
Think about Nike. Think about when you watch the games. I was telling my sister as far as buying stock in Nike. When you watch the games, the Olympic players, the basketball players, the football players, what do you see on their uniforms?
You know where
the little swoosh.
You know where Just Do It came from. Remember he said that?
Yeah. Well, his agent was arguing
we
that
didn't
he
even
came
know.
up with it.
We didn't know. No, Just Do It, not Air Jordan.
No.
Your Just Do It.
I'm sorry.
It was a guy who was getting ready to die in prison. They was getting ready to execute him. And they said, "Do you have any famous last words?" He said, "Just do it." That's where they got the "Just Do It" from.
Mm-hmm. Just do it.
And the switch came from
the man said he paid $35 for a person to design the switch.
And wasn't that
it didn't stick with him right?
Some god of the air,
grow on him. Yeah.
Some air god or something. Because he was a Buddhist guy.
Yeah.
So that's like it didn't mean nothing to him.
It just shows you that we can't despise small beginnings.
Yep.
You can't. And then as a trailblazer, you're gonna run into some walls and hurdles. But as a trailblazer, you keep moving because you feel so strongly about that idea.
But it also showed trailblazers, you still need people.
Yeah, to help you through it.
You need help.
Yeah, you need people to trust you with that whatever you got going on, that mission, that vision, that goal.
Which means that you have a history. Mm-hmm. The Sonny guy had a history of being successful.
Yeah.
So people will bet on you if you're successful. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're somebody that come up with a hairbrained idea every minute, you don't execute any of them.
That's what Kanye did. Kanye, when I watched the documentary of Kanye,
he was a trailblazer.
He was a trailblazer. He went after Jay-Z and them to get his music. Hear it. Hear what I got. This is what I got.
Even in fashion, though, because he looked at the people who opened the door for him, like Run DMC, because remember they was talking about Adidas. Mm-hmm. When Run DMC came up with Adidas, they made Adidas cool. Yeah. So like every dude wanted to wear Adidas. Not that it was a better shoe. Right. It was just cool. Mm-hmm. Kanye took that to the next level by saying everybody's going to want to wear this because we telling them to.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I saw they threw a little side stuff in there about Adidas and being German and Adolf Hitler.
To Hitler.
And we all said that they was the last ones to drop Kanye when he made those anti-Semitic remarks because the company is German and they do have ties to the Nazis. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is what it is.
Yeah, they hint to that in the movies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that was funny. And it's funny now that they losing money because of a guy who was making them all the money made anti-Semitic. See, God don't like ugly. You plant those seeds,
comes back to you.
It's gonna come back.
And Nike owns Converse now.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I thought it was a good movie. Overall, I would say if you haven't seen it, see it. It's not like, good movie. I mean, we gave some spoilers, but it doesn't matter. We already know how it ended. You know that
he didn't have the deal.
You know he has a deal or whatever. Yeah. And it's still a good movie.
It was a rough road to get to that.
Yes.
And he did some not unethical. He did unorthodox. Is that the word now? Because he was not supposed to go visit any athlete's family.
You're not supposed to.
And you're not supposed to go above their agent.
Yeah,
because that's the agent's job.
Yeah. So it was good movie.
And if it was true what the movie showed, she didn't even use the agent to even tell them about the deal. She said, "I want to call them myself."
Talked herself.
So Miss Jordan was on it.
It was good. And I didn't know that all Michael Jordan wanted was that stupid car. He just wanted a Mercedes, a red Mercedes.
You know how a lot of athletes are.
His mom made him
that red car.
His mom made him a billionaire.
Yeah, she did.
If it was just that knucklehead, he would have just had a car.
And I wish more parents get involved, guardians get involved with their kids' lives when they're doing sports, when they're signing these contracts. Are you going to take care of my son? What does my son get out of this? You using my son's name.
Exactly.
Or my daughter, whoever is in that sport.
Yep.
important.
Either you be a businessman or get somebody that's
somebody you trust.
around that you trust that would help.
And
him
that's in
or her.
any industry.
Yeah.
Music, because even
But
you
it
said
was
some
good.
moms are some people's managers.
Yeah, and some of them are good.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is I thought it was a good movie.
Mhm.
It might be nominated. What do you think?
That Matt Damon.
Yeah.
You think him and what's his name? Because they did more of the acting.
More than Viola.
Yeah.
Okay.
Viola had little bits and parts, but no, not for that.
And it was a movie that was more of a cast movie where they all worked together, worked good. Not one person stood out. It was the whole movie.
They all played off each other.
Yeah.
Now I laugh because, like you had said earlier, when they all was planning on pitching. Like all the other shoe places had they big wigs, they little nice little suits on. And they pitching to Michael Jordan and his mom and dad.
They had to pivot like Martin Luther King.
They had to pivot like Martin Luther King did with the I Have a Dream, which I did not know.
I didn't know either.
That he pivoted from that piece of paper he wrote and went just kind of like ad-libbing. Yeah. And that was beautiful. And Matt Damon's character did that when they were pitching to Michael.
Because Michael Jordan was bored.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm hearing that y'all telling me the same pitch that everybody else is.
Yeah, that was good though.
So definitely a movie. I would say go. What do you get it? 1 out of 5 stars. How many you give it?
4 or 5. 4.5.
Which one? 4.5?
4.5.
How many stars you give it? 4.5. Very good movie.
We learned some things. What now?
What's his name with the big eye?
Oh,
Chris Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy says, hello, girls. Hey, Wendy. Wendy M says, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. The origin of Just Do It. Yeah, just do it. The guy said, just do it. Mm-hmm. His last words.
His agent fussing about, he came up with Air Jordan.
Oh, they fussing about who came up with Air Jordan. I believe it's the guy who did the shoe. Okay. I don't believe it's his agent. Because looking at that agent, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
He actually sold his business like he said he would.
Right.
With no friends.
And it was very interesting that the Michael Jordan earns over $400 million a year in passive income just from Air Jordan.
From Air Jordan.
Passive income.
Kids was getting beat up with the stolen Air Jordan.
$400 million. And I didn't know his mom runs his foundation in Chicago here.
Yeah, yeah.
And billions of dollars have gone into that foundation, into helping. So a lot of people always go, what does Michael Jordan do? Don't worry about what he do. His money does. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about everybody. Don't have to always. That's the other thing with Oprah Winfrey. Mm-hmm. People always say, what does Oprah Winfrey do? I know for a fact in a small town that we lived in, she built a girls' home.
Yeah, that burnt down.
It burnt recently.
No, she built it because the other one burnt down.
Oh, the other one burnt down and she built it. No news, no fanfare, nobody. Oh, this came from Oprah. No.
Yeah.
So don't worry about what these people are doing stuff with their money. They just don't put it all on the news all the time.
Right.
And that's a small town that I know for a fact she built a girl's home in. Yeah. Imagine how many other towns she's done stuff in.
Aside from Africa, she's doing lots in this country.
With Beyonce and Jay-Z, they've given a lot of money to a lot of defense attorneys for a lot of these guys that get locked up.
Oh, really?
With bad defense attorneys, and they trying to put them in jail because they don't have no money.
That's good.
Jay-Z and Beyonce have given millions.
They take over their legal fees to take.
They cover the legal fees, and
we all know a good lawyer.
And they've also done other things. So a lot of times people don't tell you what they do,
right?
But they do.
They don't need to toot their horn to get approval from the audience,
right? Let's see. Rosebud says, hello, ladies. Hey, Rosebud.
Hey.
Wendy M says, I didn't know that either about the MLK speech. I know.
Interesting facts we picked up.
And he had already written, I Had a Dream.
And when the character,
but he didn't give that speech.
When the character of Wayans brothers, his character, which was that Olympics basketball coach, he said that's a good speech.
He has the I Have the Dream speech.
And won't sell
original
it.
I Have the Dream speech.
They was saying millions of dollars.
Millions. He won't sell it. He has the original.
Maybe when he passes away.
Because when Martin Luther King spoke at this event, he was supposed to give that speech, and he pivoted
I have a dream.
and changed his speech on the spot.
Yeah.
And just spoke from his heart. And that was compelling.
Well,
And the
you
man
know
was
what?
like, I love what you said. Can I have your speech? And he was like, here. Even though that's not what I spoke
That's
about.
why God called him. He's an orator, a good orator. He speaks. He's a minister. God said, I know who I'm doing.
A good
You know,
minister.
And in fact, God may have touched his heart too to say, put that aside. How many ministers have we gone to where they say, I had a sermon today,
But
the
God
Holy
wanted me to
Spirit
go-
led me to a whole different way.
Somebody in here needs to hear this. And
Thank
they
you.
go in a whole nother
different
direction. That's good. Don't be willing to pivot.
Yes.
And that's not just on a speech, but that's on anything.
Like they did with the pitch to Michael Jordan.
That's business. That's anything you do. Be willing to pivot. Don't be so stuck into your
show the video, show the so-and-so.
You might get into an audience, or you might, even comedians know that.
Mm-hmm.
You get up and you have a whole show plan, and you tell a few jokes and the audience is sitting like this.
Yeah, you got to pivot.
So now you understand. You say, okay, that didn't work. What do y'all want to hear? Fart
Let me
jokes?
move.
And if somebody start laughing, okay, I know now I got a
So
fart
I gotta
joke.
do my
audience.
little Three Stooges slapstick.
Have you
comedy.
ever been in a washroom and it's 100 stalls and the guy comes and sits right next to you?
Mhm.
The audience is laughing because that's the type of humor they like.
Yeah.
They like fart
I
jokes
get it,
and
'cause it
stuff
was
like
funny.
that.
It was a concert that we went to. It was Dorinda Clark, one of the Clark sisters, and we were waiting on her to do her song because she has a CD out as well. God pivoted her to just do songs that all her sisters do. And the audience was singing along. You brought the sunshine. We were
Okay.
like, yay! Thank you, Dorinda.
And then there's people who pivot and you wish they would have stayed where they would.
Yeah.
Because you said you went to see Hezekiah Walker and it wasn't good.
No, not Hezekiah. Hezekiah is always good.
Who was it?
It was, oh God, what's his name? Sold Out. Not Sold Out. Show Up.
Oh, I don't know who he is. I know he's
Mama, do you remember the gospel artist that sings "Show Up" and he only did wine and song?
It's not Hezekiah Walker. It's the other one.
it's not Hezekiah.
Well, you'll
I'll
think
think
of
of it when I come to it. He sings "Show Up."
Let's see.
John P. Key.
John P. Key. Okay.
We were waiting for John P. Key to sing all of his famous gospel songs. He did a tribute to the Hawkins family,
See?
and we sat there and went,
Now that's an ideal of somebody who missed God.
"Yeah,
that's
you
what I'm
missed
talking
God
about.
on that one."
Let's see. Scooby Doo says hello, everyone. Hey, Scooby.
Hey.
Rosebud says, I'm gonna have to watch that movie. It was good.
Thank
it was
you.
good, Rosebud. Scooby Doo says blessings to the Belafonte family on the passing of Harry Belafonte. Yeah, we were gonna talk about
That's
that.
one of our next stories.
Wendy M says, as a teacher, I know that's right about knowing how to pivot. Exactly.
You have to ad lib.
You
You got
got
to keep
to.
it moving. You got to be creative. You got to be ready to go. You got to go a different direction.
Yep. All right. So there we go. I give it a 4.52.
Okay.
All right. So let's go here. You know what? You mentioned Harry Belafonte. Let's talk about him real quick. Harry Belafonte, singer and actor, tireless